Embrace the suck. You're just going to have to. Looking for a job in this market is going to take some significant patience. It's going to take creativity. And most of all, it's going to take work. There's no question whether you're experienced or not, you're going to have to just get off your ass and get going. Because I'm going to be honest, this job market is getting worse. We've already seen hundreds of thousands of tech workers laid off. We've seen hundreds of thousands of government workers laid off in the US. And all I can say is we have to embrace the suck. And I'm going to go into the top 7 reasons why we're going to have to buckle up right now. All right, let's just be real for a second. That shiny, stable tech dream that we had working at that great tech company with all the cool benefits is over. It's really hooked up to life support right now. And the reality is that the doctors are not looking too optimistic. Remember 2023? Well, this is much worse. We watched the staggering 260,000 of our colleagues vanish from their desks. Then just this summer, another 100,000 got whacked as well. If you're out there grinding through hundreds of applications, tailoring cover letters, only to hear nothing, crickets basically, it's not you. The reality is that the market is fundamentally, brutally broken. So you have to just be aware here that things are getting worse. There's a lot more challenges that we're starting to see in the job market. So I'm not going to just list problems. I'm going to break down the 7 realities and also provide some insight into how you can make your career search easier. The reality is that job hunting right now is a contact sport. We're talking about the stuff that keeps you up at night, the hidden traps, the shifts that are redefining the job market. And in reality, for a lot of people, this may be their last time that they ever have a tech job. Let's face it, the weather report came in and we have a layoff tsunami. Companies like Meta, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Salesforce, and on are just laying off. They're repeat vendors. You would think that companies like this would be intelligent enough and sophisticated enough to have layoffs in a controlled manner, but that's not how things work in today's tech sector. They've cut so deep, so frequently, that the phrase stable big tech job is really an oxymoron. Think about it. When seasoned engineers, folks with decades or more of experience, that experience guaranteed them a great, comfortable ride with cushy benefits and fun experiences. Now, what does this really do for everyone else when they get laid off? The reality is that we are now competing against each other, whether we're experienced or not. The job market, as we know, is so competitive. And it's not just the giants. We know that it's smaller companies, startup companies as well, that are actually doing the same thing. It actually seems like this optimization effort, this reduction in force effort, whatever you want to call it, is happening all at the same time, and that these companies literally coordinated this. It really feels like that. How does so many of these companies that are supposed to be amazing at what they do can't figure out that they have to reduce expenses? They didn't have to reduce expenses. They're doing it all at once. With that said, what does this really translate for you as the job seeker? Well, every single opening, whether it's a junior dev or a senior architect, is really fighting for life. We have to realize that the candidate pool is much greater than it's ever been, at least in my lifetime. And I understand it's exhausting, it's demoralizing, and it really changes the dynamics of a candidate-driven market. One of the things we have to be aware of is that we have to get started right now so that we're not lost in the digital ocean. whether or not you are perfectly qualified or not for a role. The sheer volume of applications means that your resume will likely get lost in the digital ocean, even if you're perfectly qualified. Remember a time not so long ago when having that solid computer science degree, a few personal projects, and a desire to learn would actually land you an entry-level gig? Well, these roles, my friends, have become the unicorns of the IT job market. You hear whispers about them, but you rarely ever see one in the wild. So why the sudden disappearance of junior roles? Well, budgets are tighter than ever, and managers are facing intense pressure to deliver immediate results. They have become effectively risk averse. The prevailing wisdom now is, why should a company invest time and resources in mentoring junior devs, let's say, or any junior role that might take 6 months to become fully productive, when you could just poach a senior engineer and have them hit the ground running from day one? Well, these numbers paint a stark picture, and it's not pretty. Demand for staff plus engineers, those highly experienced, self-sufficient individuals, is up 28%. On the other hand, job postings asking for less than 2 years of experience, down 42% year over year. Think about the implications of that for anyone trying to get into the IT job market. This is not a temporary blip. It's really more of a shift. The end result, newcomers to the industry are stuck in that impossible catch-22. You can't get experience without a job, but then you can't get a job without experience. So many are forced into unpaid internships, assuming that they could even get that. This will create a massive leak in our talent pipeline, one that I don't believe the industry will ever fix. We're effectively cannibalizing our future workforce. And
Cloud Interview Ace is a hybrid online training and coaching program with a professional community mentored by industry veteran Joseph Holbrook, the Cloud Tech Guy, a pre-post-sales guru in cloud computing. Save yourself not only thousands of dollars, but also possibly years of preparation in this progressively more challenging, saturated job market by signing up for Cloud Interview Ace.
if you feel like you're constantly running just to stay in the same place, you're not alone, my friend. Tech moves faster than a viral Twitter trend, and your skills, basically, they have a shelf life. Experts predict that skills by 2030, shocking 39% of these skills will likely be expired. That is, expired faster than a carton of milk in your fridge. Cloud platforms aren't just evolving, they're iterating quarterly. AI frameworks are pushing out updates monthly. And security threats? Well, we know those are more of a daily challenge than anything else. Employers are quick to whine about the skills gap. And yes, there are skill gaps. However, they don't really mean that. What they really want is to have someone that's already shipped with the exact thing so that they don't have to train anyone or let someone learn. The reality is that the standard employers have are just really too high. This leaves you, the dedicated professional, cramming for certifications after a full day's work. You're really sacrificing evenings and weekends so that you could be terrified of losing your job next week or next month. The reality is that the tech stack is really obsolete faster than ever. And knowing something today doesn't mean it matters tomorrow, as we probably already know. So upskilling used to be a path to career growth and advancement. Now, upskilling is really more a chore. It's a relentless, exhausting cycle of learning just to maintain relevance in this IT market. The mental and financial burden of keeping up with this mess in tech is really becoming, to a point for a lot of folks, just not worth it. When it comes to understanding the IT job market now, it's really a treadmill that's just gaining speed. You really can't stop. If you do, you're going to fall on your ass. AI isn't just coming for the call center jobs anymore. It's now munching on the mid-level developers for breakfast. We're talking about a significant disruption to what many considered safe, stable careers. Code assistants like Copilot aren't just fancy autocomplete tools. They're handling scaffolding, churning out unit tests, and even writing boilerplate CRUD operations. They're taking over the foundational, often repetitive tasks that used to be the bread and butter of junior and mid-level engineers. A Salesforce executive quite proudly bragged that generative AI does 30 to 50% of the work. Now, that might sound awesome from a productivity standpoint, right? Until you connect the dots and realize that 30 to 50% of the work is precisely the same chunk that hiring managers are now looking to lop off headcount. This creates a fascinating, albeit terrifying, paradox. On one hand, AI is undeniably creating brand new roles, such as the prompt whisperer or an AI agent engineer, who can coax genius out of large language models, use ML ops, or whatever. These complex systems, again, are really being built by a limited number of experts. These are exciting, high-demand fields, but if you're a regular full-stack engineer or a data analyst or even a QA specialist, your daily tasks are being automated faster than sexually transmitted diseases are in the villages of Florida. The middle layer of the tech workforce, those reliable, experienced professionals who bridge the gap between junior and senior roles, are finding their responsibilities shrinking, their value proposition shifting, and their job security basically going away. It's really not all about replacing all jobs, but rather transforming many jobs, demanding a rapid evolution of skills and a willingness to embrace new tools or risk becoming redundant. In summary, you really have to evolve faster than what you did even 2 or 3 years ago. If you want to stay ahead, you got to constantly learn and you got to constantly spend resources, time and money, learning new things on your free time. Spend 5 minutes scrolling through LinkedIn or any major job site, and you'll inevitably spot them. Hundreds of urgent postings that are somewhat older than the stuff in the corner of your attic. You'll click, you'll apply, you'll tailor, and you'll wait. And you wait again. These are the ghost jobs, and they are a soul-crushing reality of the current job market. Why do they exist? The reasons are varied and equally frustrating. Sometimes recruiters leave them just to simply harvest information, gain as many resumes as possible. Or one of my favorite schemes are these federal contractors trying to get up names so that they could submit it on RFPs without asking permission. Other times it's about satisfying internal HR quotas, making it look like the company's really hiring and growing. Of course, we know it's not. And sometimes it's a cynical tactic to maintain the illusion of growth and stability for investors, especially in a volatile market with a zombie company that isn't making any money and is dependent on loans, or AKA investments. Meanwhile, applicants are unaware that they're pissing away their time applying for this role, crafting that perfect cover letter, and also updating their portfolio, hoping that an interview will come because they know that they're a really good match for the role. Nothing crushes morale faster than acing that technical interview, feeling positive about your chances, and then finding out that you get this email that says, thanks for applying, but we found someone that was better than you effectively. Yeah, that stuff happens pretty routinely in this market. The job search nowadays really feels like a cruel joke, and it really does feel, for most people, like a waste of time. You'd be better off getting online and just doing surveys to get some points than pissing your time on looking for a job right now. It can breed cynicism, distrust, and ultimately burnout. For solid candidates trying to find a real job, this can also affect real employers where that real candidate that was qualified will maybe not even waste their time applying and just take a vacation. This affects everyone, whether we like it or not. It's not just the unemployed who are hurting, it's really the employed as well who are really feeling the sharp sting of financial regression. The current oversupply in talent is really driving down salaries in a lot of sectors. It's really become quite common as well for initial offers to be slashed by 15 to 25%. I can tell you, for example, as a cloud architect, a pre-sales engineer, that the salaries have not gone up in 15 years. Still the same 150 to 200,000 range. That's about all you'll get. Even experienced senior engineers are now seeing that they're not able to get the same salary that they received prior. They're taking sometimes 5-figure haircuts on their salaries. Combine this with the brutal reality with inflation, you get a truly depressing picture. Your real income is effectively back at 2018 levels. On the other hand, if you rent, it feels like impossible to keep up every year. And if you have a home that you own, the property taxes and the insurance will get you as well. The cost of living continues its relentless climb, so we have to make every dollar count. So loyalty used to be a value trait. Well, let's be real. This ain't happening anymore. Loyalty is a fool's game for most people. So you have to make the right choices, there's no question. Do you pick stability or jump ship? If you worked in the federal sector, those days of having that federal job and having that be that stable, guaranteed ticket to retirement is also over as well. So what do we do about this when it comes to income? We have to go out there, find side hustles, whether it's getting on Fiverr or Upwork or creating content or doing training courses or affiliate marketing. We have to do something. Companies aren't just trimming their workforces, they're strategically relocating them. Welcome to the global chessboard, where geography is no longer destiny, but merely another line item in the CFO's spreadsheet. Nearshoring to regions like Latin America, Eastern Europe, and Southeast Asia isn't a trend, it's a calculated move that can shave 40% or more off payroll costs without sacrificing time zone overlap as well. This means teams can still collaborate effectively during business hours, but at a fraction of the cost. Beyond cost savings, there's also geopolitical factors that are playing a role as well. From tariffs to political saber rattling to currency swings, this is all making the leadership hedge their bets by scattering teams across continents. It's really a risk mitigation strategy, but in reality, it really has a profound effect for the domestic workforce. So if you are a high-cost US developer, for example, you're no longer competing with the person down the road or across the country. You're competing against someone on another continent. It's also important to realize that this developer is likely making less than what your mortgage costs you. The economic realities are stark. The global competition intensifies. The pressure on salaries and job availability in developed nations is really escalating. There's no question, and we have to be prepared. It's really a race to the bottom for some, and it's really a constant uphill battle for others. Fundamentally reshaping what a local job market is, and local being in the same country now. The digital age is no question making changes that are not going to be favorable to Western nations. Smelling smoke yet? Yeah, I thought so. I sure am. We know the fire started, and now we have to adapt. So drop your biggest frustration in the comments below, whether it's the layoffs or those ghost jobs or the march of AI taking over what's left for work. Let us know in the comments what's keeping you up at night. Also, please hit the like and subscribe as well to be notified of the next video. So there you have it, the full unvarnished picture. We're navigating the layoff hurricane. We're going to have to dig in here and really get the raincoat on. We're going to have to as well be aware that the flooding is going to continue. What does that really mean for us? We really can't sugarcoat this. The market stinks and we have to get tough. We have to adapt. So first thing we have to do is be aware. Be aware that the market is changing and that we don't fit in like we used to fit in. The next thing we have to take care of is double down on skills that AI can't take over. Whether this is having that deep cybersecurity expertise, complex design, or managing stakeholders better than AI could ever do, we have to double down. Another thing we have to pay attention to is networking. Meet new people, let people know what you can do, how you provide value. We should also connect as many times as possible. Lastly, we have to realize that loyalty is over. Adapt. Of course, we will. We will be strong and survive. One thing we have to be aware of as well is we have to add value more than ever. There's just no way around it. And lastly, we're in this together. We're all in the same storm. Let's work together, share feedback, and again, put in the comments below anything that you feel could help the audience.